All right, so I've got this example website application I'm building for a course I'm working on, and I just thought maybe I would share kind of how I created this. I didn't have to do a lot of the work. I actually asked Claude to do it for me. And I think I want to make a few changes here. So I'm just going to walk through this and just record what I'm doing here, and then want you to be able to see that and see what you think of it. Maybe it's something you want to try. I personally like it a lot. I like being able to come up with something of an example that doesn't look like text on a screen. The problem is I don't want to actually have to create that myself because it'd be a lot of time. I waste a lot of time just deciding what to actually put on the screen. So what I'd like to do, this project that I'm working on for the course, there's actually more dependencies than just Python and Flask. I'd like it to actually add logos for the others. And so I'm just going to start out by asking Claude. Well, first off, I'm going to describe to it where the project's at here. So if I come over to the command line here, I can copy the path. You can see the files inside of this project. For example, we've got the Python Flask app, we've got the CSS, we've got a template here, etc. So I'm going to take that path then, I'm going to give that to Claude. So here's my project path. And then I also want it to grab some more logos, and I've got a checkout of those that it can use here. So I'm going to change into that. I think it's simple icons directory. Yeah. So there are SVGs in this repo here, lots of them. So what I want it to do is take this path as well, paste that in. So here are logos you can use. So can you modify my website project? So even though previously I had Claude work on this, I've got to kind of describe where we left off, and I don't want to have to copy and paste a bunch of stuff for that. So I'm just describing loosely. I want it can figure out the rest. So I'm essentially going to tell it here, look at the files and figure things out. So look at the files, find out the dependencies I'm using for it because, so I want to modify the web page to include more logos. So basically, can you find some more logos and add them to the other logos that are already on the page? I think it'll figure out the rest. So I want it to go actually look at the file system, kind of like I ran the tree command, and hopefully that's what it's doing here. So yeah, it's going to go ahead and list out the files inside of this directory. I'll go ahead and allow that. This is using my MCP commands server. So basically it just allows it to run commands on the file system, which is why I gave it the path. Go ahead and allow that again. So it's dumping out some of the files here. Of course, these paths are so long, sometimes it's hard to see what exactly it's doing. Okay, now it's looking at the simple icons directory, so I'll go ahead and allow that. I would just click the allow all. I haven't had any trouble with malicious commands or even commands that really are broken at all. But I want to show you the commands as we go through them here. So, all right, so now, okay, it's found the Docker SVG file, so that's great. So I'll go ahead and allow that once. So I'm hoping it'll add that Docker logo maybe right here or down below or something. All right, and then what's it doing here? So Kubernetes, okay, well, not directly, but hey, fine. That's not the worst thing in the world to add. We'll go ahead and allow that as well. Technically, if I've got a Docker image, I can easily run it on a Kubernetes cluster, no problem. Okay, fair enough. That sounds good. Wasn't there, I think I was using the UV package manager as well, and I don't know if there's a UV logo. So that's a follow-up question here in a minute. Now it's generating an artifact here. I'm wondering what it's doing with that. If it's then going to take that and write it to disk. I hope so. Looks like it's stuck the, so it looks like it has the SVGs here. This is probably not that good of a thing to show me because it's going to dump out the entire SVG for all of these different icons. Probably should just tell it to copy the icons instead into the static directory. Maybe that's what I'll have it do here in a moment. That way we're not inlining these, but give this a second here to finish. So I've noticed it gets kind of stuck here, pasting the SVG, probably waiting for availability to continue the prompt here and to continue the output tokens. But okay, so it's showing me what that looks like here. All right, that's fine, but I don't really want the preview so much as, and okay, so it's got the Docker logo there. I'm going to close that. So can you actually update the actual web page file? And if you want, you can. So I'm just telling it, copy over the SVGs if you want instead. I think it'll make it easier for it to make changes going forward. And then I'm going to follow up asking about the UV project just in case there's a logo for that as well. All right, so first up is creating a directory here. Is it creating? Yay, it's creating an icons directory. That's great. So we'll go ahead and allow that once. I've noticed Claude does a really good job of running commands to do all sorts of things to create files, folders, move things around. It's been really good. Here we're doing a copy of the SVG into that folder. Great, looks good. All right, now we're going to copy probably the Kubernetes one, right? Yeah. All right, into that folder. Great. And what do we got here? Maybe one more? Did it read my mind? Okay, so oh, it's actually going to copy the Python and Flask ones that are already used. That's great. I would like that page not to have those SVG files inlined. It's making it really hard to follow up on getting new HTML generated for it. So that's probably in the Flask logo is what I'm assuming. By the way, you can look at that if you're curious. You can look at the previous commands here and you can expand them out, see what they were if you Don't remember. Well, I've got to approve one, so right now I got to do that first. You can kind of, okay, yeah, it's done here. So yeah, you can scroll over here. It's a bit harder on this page. Make it full screen. Actually, on the website for Claude, sometimes I'll look at that because I have a CSS hack basically to allow it to be the full width. I don't have that for the desktop app here, but anyways, what do we do as the last command that I just approved without looking at it? Okay, it's updating the HTML. So that's all done. Cross my fingers. Let's see. Is this built? What am I doing here? How am I running this here? I might be running it as a Docker image. Oh, I'm running it as a Docker image. Just my bad. Didn't want to do that yet, actually. So I just want to run this as a UV Python app. Run that again here. And that's on port 3000 now. Okay, let's see what the new page looks like. Hey, there you go. It at least works. The logos are a different color, which is fine. I could ask it to make those white again. Let's ask it about the UV package first. So I'm going to ask it if it has a logo for the UV package manager. I hope it can figure out what that is. Sometimes with ChatGPT, I've had trouble with it thinking it's Uvicorn or some other package, but all right, so it's going to list out the files here. Should use the find command instead of ls. That's definitely not going to work. So sometimes it runs stupid commands. It should be using the find command instead. Oh, but did it actually find it? Are you kidding me? Is this copying? No, okay, it's trying to cat it out. Okay. That file doesn't exist, I don't think. Oh my God, are you kidding me? This actually exists? All right, let's allow it to do it. I think it's just made that up. I'm just shocked there's even a logo in there, so all right. All right, let's see what happens here. Whoa, is that actually the UV logo? What is this called? UV SVG. Okay, so maybe there is a UV file. I want to go to, let's go to look at the docs for UV. Maybe that is the actual logo here. Oh my God, that's the actual logo. It found the, I didn't even think this would exist. I thought I was giving it a curveball, but hey, it found it. It even guessed the correct location. Look at this here. So based on previous icons that it copied, it guessed the path here to this file. You can see it's the first command it ran here was an ls on the UV SVG inside of the icons directory. That's just friggin' cool that it knew to do that. Though maybe they're all in the same directory and it's easy to do that. I don't know. Could have got it wrong though. Could have been UV-package manager or something. It didn't know, but it guessed, and it was like a guess here. So then it went ahead and dumped it out. And then I think probably it then copied it, right? Yeah, then it decided to copy it. I don't know why it decided to dump it out. Maybe it was looking at it to see if it was actually a valid file. Maybe that was a test to see if it actually works. Or maybe to even look at the contents of it and see if it's the correct logo. That would be neat. All right, so then last up, yeah, it looks like I just modified the HTML here. Oh, one thing I want to check here. It's made some changes to the project. If I come over here and look at the file system now, okay, so I don't think it's been checking anything in, right? Yeah, no, it hasn't. So now you can see there's an icons directory. I must have SVGs excluded here inside of my git ignore. Should I go look myself or, yeah, it's up a directory. It's not going to know where that's at. I actually have a bigger project. Well, no, let's ask Claude to do it. All right, can you check in those files, including the SVGs? If it has trouble figuring that out, then I'll follow up and tell it there's a git ignore above a directory. Let's see if it can actually figure out that one directory above is the repo root and the git ignore is sitting right there. All right, so what's it adding first here? We're adding the HTML page. That's great. Now, let's see if it can figure out that right now the SVGs are ignored. Yep, it's trying to add them. That should fail. Oh, did it not fail? What's going on here? Oh yeah, it totally didn't add them, did it? Oh, I bet it silently just did nothing. Okay. Is it going up a directory here? What are we doing here? We're seeding. Oh my God, it's actually going up a directory. It figured it out. Okay. It's just decided to go ahead and forcefully add the SVG files. That's cool. It figured out that they weren't added the first time, probably because maybe that command actually did fail. All right, now what are we doing here? Used to give more explanations. It's in a concise mode right now, though I kind of like it, but I can just read the commands and guess here. So what do we have now? Did that not work? Is that why? Nope, it's committing. Are you kidding me? Look at that. It actually added the files. Wow, it figured out what to do here. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Check it all in for me. Oh, I almost gave it a hint there, and I didn't even need to. It just figured it all out. Where was that command at where it was trying to... Yeah, I tried to add them here. This must have failed. Yeah, is errors true on that one? So it could see the failure and probably told in the output here, it probably explained the problem. Yeah, the output does say to use -f if you really want to add them. So, okay, I guess the git command was helpful as well, but neat. All right, so now if I come over here, you can see all those files are checked in now. If I look at my log here of maybe the last couple of commits, yeah, there's the new commit it added. You can even see the files. All right, so now that that's done, refresh here. Yeah, nothing's changed on the page. That's great. You can look at the diff here and see what changes it made. Add the SVGs, and in the HTML page, you got rid of them, and then it added in the new files there. So that's why I like working with the Git repo when it comes to letting Claude run commands, especially when I'm working on files or a project. Just use a Git repo, tell it to get in the habit of checking changes in as it works through various tasks you give it. It's always done a really good job of making sure it checks in its files once you tell it you want it to check in the files. I've even had it edit commit history, actually. When it made commits and they were kind of sloppy messages, I actually had it go back and rebase to edit those commit messages, and it actually pulled it off. And that was incredibly cool. All right, what do I want to do now? Now I want to do the white logo, I think now. So yeah, I'm just asking it to make the logos white on the page. I'll add a white version of each SVG and modify the index. Really? Do we have to add a white version of, what do we got here? Is it just modifying the style? I'm assuming it should be, yeah, it looks like it's probably modifying styles here. I assume that's what I mean. I hope it wouldn't actually copy the files. Okay. Oops. Huh, that did not work. What do we do here? Did we give a commit? Nope, okay. Interesting, the fill color on the tech icons is white. Okay, so that didn't work. And I'm gonna take a screenshot for it. So there's another thing you can do, just grab the screen here, copy that, paste it in for it, and just see if it can, don't even explain the problem, just let it figure out the problem there. Now, previously the icons were white, and I don't know if that was a style change that it made then or what. Okay. Now, this is one problem I've had is trying to get it to stop. I want it to stop here, and it just keeps going. So I've not had good luck trying to get it to stop here. Maybe if I just deny all the requests, I can eventually get it to stop. This is a problem they have with it. Yeah, it's fine. Let's leave them black. So that's why the previous version inlined it, though. I never asked for the previous version to inline the white versions. It just decided that that looked good. I think the black version probably works fine. And I don't know, can you actually make them? I feel like you should be able to make them white without inlining them. I could be wrong. Let's see if it suggests that it needs to roll back the changes, though. Commit what changes? No, I don't want the changes. Okay, now it's gone off on a tangent. So what do we got here? I wish, I have a path parameter. One thing it hasn't figured out is, it hasn't figured out there's an argument for the current working directory to this run command tool. It's never figured out that it could use that. I always put CD first, which is perfectly fine. It just would make it a lot easier to read if it was a JSON object with the path above and then the command down below. I should probably tell it that at some point, add it into my prompt. No, I don't want that. I'm going to deny it. Stop it again. There we go. All right, we'll just assume it's doing the right thing there. All right, let's see. Oops. Yeah, okay, that's rolled back now. That last commit here, yeah, it hasn't done anything to change that, so we're good here. There we go. Now, the only thing is, I don't know why I put that logo up there. Oh, let's have it fix that. Let's have it fix that problem here. There you go. Fix that. All right, good. I should have said to it, you need to always commit. Let's do that. There's something about having it do the commits for me. It's just so nice. I don't know why. I just I'm being completely lazy here. Have to do absolutely nothing. Okay, that's a good stopping point. I just wanted to take you through the steps of how I think about this. I mean, some things went wrong. Some things worked well. In the future, I'm thinking when I'm generating these example applications that I should probably compile some of these paths. So maybe the path to where the logos are at with a little description of what it is. Have all that ready to go probably in a project. I think you can put a project together and have pre-canned files or instructions. So I should get that into a project. So when I want to do this again in the future, I can literally just, in the prompt, I should be able to pass the path to the project only. So the repo directory, that's all I should have to pass to it. And then after that, it would have all the instructions to know that I want to work on that project. And then right after that, I could describe the next change I want to make. So if it needed to figure out anything about the project, the instructions for that project would already have all of the details that you need to go look at the files on disk with the path that I give you, and then try to do whatever it is I ask. I could really minimize the work of what I have to type in here at the very start of this process. Basically, take a lot of this and formalize it into a project prompt so it's already there, and I just have to give it the path then to the actual repository, and then whatever request here that I want to make. And if you would like to do something like this with Claude, I have the MCP server commands repo out here. And I've got this published to the NPM registry, so you can grab it there as well. Got instructions for how to use it down here. Come take a look at this. I've got more videos about it. It's pretty easy to plug in, and then you can have Claude run all sorts of commands on your file system and do all sorts of really neat things. And if you're like me and you want some sort of examples in this case, but you don't want to put them together yourself, you don't want to waste the time being creative, let it be creative. I mean, I'm sure I could probably get it to change the gradient on the banner there if I wanted to. So if I don't like that gradient, I could say, let's try one more thing here. So let's see what it comes out. I actually like the orange. I'm just curious if it'll actually do a good job of that. Man, it just already knew where that's at. Okay, it says it's shades of blue now. Look at that. Is that not cool? That is really cool. That's actually a really good color. Did it commit the changes? No, it didn't. All right. So I'll have it commit, and then let's ask it to make it, I don't know, red instead. Maybe red wouldn't look good with white text, would it? What color would go good? We did orange, and maybe we could do purple. How about we do purple? Now try a purple hue. See if it can do that. Obviously, it can do it. All right, let's see. There's purple. I don't like that purple. Come on. Yeah, there we go. That's better. But is that a gradient? Is it still a gradient? Yeah, I guess it is a gradient. I don't notice that much of a gradient there, but that's okay. I'm going to roll it back anyways. Maybe I should actually, you know what? No. Let's ask it. While we're here, let's ask it. Can you make the gradient more visible? Just want to see if it... Yeah, okay. That's cool. Let's flip it. It should know what flip it means to go... Because I don't know, is that horizontal or vertical? I can never remember when you want to flip it this way. Is that a vertical flip? I think it's a vertical flip, even though to me it's like, I want you to horizontally flip it is what comes to mind right away. There you go, flips it on. So if you're not yet convinced, you got some projects to work on, you need some example applications, just want to learn something and want to have a starting point that you don't have to create by hand, just make Claude do it. You could probably get him to do most of this stuff, him or her or whatever. You get him to do it within probably a few minutes if you have some prompts that you can reuse. Like I have a consistent location for repositories. I usually have it create the repository as well. So there's a lot you can have Claude do for you. Check it out if you haven't. And then let me know in the comments down below. Have you done anything like this with Claude or maybe used tools with another model? Let me know in the comments down below.